I kind of don't go along with all the climate alarmism as much as a lot of people do. I think there definitely is an issue around pollution.
Yeah.
But I really don't think global warming is caused massively by humans. In terms of the plastics, I'm more concerned about the microplastics and nanoplastic particles that end up in us. So these plastics that are floating out in the oceans, they break down, and you get these nanoplastics and particles, and you can actually see video footage of it. They've done some studies.
Yeah.
Some guy using fluoro microscopy shows a nanoparticle of plastic entering a cell inside a shrimp. So crossing the cell membrane, not just inside the shrimp's gut, but going into an actual cell within the shrimp. And they're finding now nanoparticles of plastics in human gut cell and epithelial cells within human lungs. So we are getting microplastics in us. And they reckon that we get, each week, we get about 5 grams, up to 5 grams of microplastics in us, which is about the size of a credit card.
Jesus, a week?
Yes. Now the vast majority of that passes through us. You know, you're probably pooping out 90% of that.
Yeah, credit cards.
You're getting a percentage of that showing up in the cells in the tissues of the organs of your body.
Wow.
So we're becoming more plastic. And plastics have, you know, they drop the immune system. Some of the plastics contain chemicals or heavy metals that are known carcinogens. Microplastics also are hormone disruptors. So they mess with the endocrine system and can cause all sorts of problems with infertility, thyroid problems, these kind of things. There's even a study that showed, I think Alex Jones talks about it, the microplastics turn the frogs gay. That's how he termed it. But there was a study that showed that there was these frogs that, when they were exposed to nanoplastics, they started to produce, the male frogs started to produce eggs instead of sperm in their testes.
Really?
And they became functional females.
Holy shit.
So microplastics, we don't yet fully understand what the
lot,
long-term consequences are going to be in terms of nanoparticles and microplastics inside the human body. So what you're doing is addressing that issue, because if the plastics are single use, you're producing way more of them and they're ending up in the ocean and breaking down. But if these are durable plastics that last longer, and you're producing more, it's definitely a vast improvement.
Oh, for sure.
Can we ever get to where we don't have plastics at all? You know, plastics are a byproduct of the petrochemical industry through refining oil into petrol and diesel.
Yeah.
You have all these leftover chemicals, and they thought, well, what are we going to do with them? And some clever people, or maybe foolish people, invented plastics.
Yeah. Well, the guy who actually, I think his son is still alive, the guy who basically invented plastic, there's stories about this, is he would be absolutely appalled at what it was being used for now. Because, you know, much the reason we use plastic for the products that we use in the reuse system, it is a great material in terms of building. Like, you think of what we've done with it with cars, homes, electronics. Like, it is a very useful and durable product, and I think when it's used well, it is great. But the problem that we see is the single-use culture and, you know, COVID unfortunately took that back 10 steps for us as well, because, you know, we had masks.
Don't get me started on COVID.
We had gloves, we had everything, even down to takeaway. Like, you couldn't even bring a reusable coffee cup with you to your cafe because people were worried about getting the spicy cough. So I think there's a lot of it is psychology, and, you know, we've been reusing things for a long time. Like, you think you go to a restaurant or a bar anywhere, you always get a wine glass that's been used probably 100 times before you. The plates are used all the time. The cutlery is the same. So I think in a lot of settings, it's been proven that it does work, I think, and it's just changing that psychology and making it a no-brainer, I think. I think, you know, obviously if things are more expensive, then people have a shy away to it. But I think by making it readily available and easy, and, you know, not only Revives, but there's other amazing companies, not only in Australia but globally, that are doing, you know, making some massive impact in terms of, you know, who they're working with and partnering with. So I think it's just that kind of switch in people's thinking of going, this is what it is.